Hi everyone, this is the higher magnets and electromagnets model answer. Circuit breakers help to make electricity supply in homes safer. A circuit breaker is an automatic safety switch. It cuts off the current if it gets too big. Okay, so how is it going to work then? What we've got is an electromagnet here. We've got current that's flowing through here. And then on this side, we've got a spring and an iron bolt. We've got a plastic plunger and a spring, and we've also got a reset button. Okay, now if the current gets too high, what will happen is the electromagnet will get stronger. And because iron is magnetic, it will get pulled towards the electromagnet. And can you see this little square here where the iron bolt's been in the plunger? It will draw it out of there, so it'll make it pop up. Right, these can move because they've got springs in there, so it'll just mean that the spring gets compressed. So because this moves up, what happens is it breaks that, okay, so it turns the switch off. And you can see there that we've got this circuit here, but here we've got a big gap in it. So that means that the current is no longer able to flow. So it's a really clever little thing, really. You've got to describe in as much detail as you can how the circuit breaker works. Okay, so the sequencing that you need to think about is that the bolt is pulled out. So bolt out. This means that the plunger goes up. And then you've got switch off. So we need to try and explain these bits in a little bit more detail. So I'm just going to bullet point for you. So we'll say if a high current flows, so if it's getting a bit dangerous and the current's getting too big, that's our first point to write down. So when the current gets too high, and then we need a consequence of that, the electromagnet is made stronger. So those two bullet points fit together. Okay, and then what does that mean? If the electromagnet is stronger, it pulls the iron bolt out. So this is strong enough to pull the iron bolt out. Okay, so we've done that bit, we've said how that happens. Then we need to say about the plunger. So if we pulled the iron bolt out, then the plunger, the plastic plunger moves up. So the plastic plunger moves up. And then this lifts the switch. So we talked about that as a result of the plunger being moved up. And then when the switch is off, we need to talk a little bit about that. We need to say there's no current flowing when the switch is open. The switch is open. And then the last point that we can put in there is if we want to reset this, so we've fixed the problem, we turn the current down. If we want to reset it, we press the reset button. It pushes this bit down and then the iron bolt just springs back into place there. So we get back to this reset position. Okay, so last point, to reset, the plunger must be pushed down. Must be pushed down. And the iron bolt springs back into position. If you want to add in as well that the iron bolt is magnetic, so iron is magnetic, and that's why it gets pulled towards the electromagnet. So I know the diagrams look really complicated at the top, but if you go through it piece by piece and then you write a little bit about each step, you should be able to get most points for that answer. So well done if you've given that a good try. If you still don't understand anything, please email me and I'll get back to you. Thank you, guys.